So we all know that the Holy Father wrote this wonderful letter to the bishops of the United States as we have to walk with our people in the midst of their immigration issues. It was beautiful that the Holy Father reached out to us in solidarity with us, because for all the bishops in the country, it is challenging because our people are scared. They are fearful. Some of them are not taking their kids to school or to church. And so it's challenging, right, to reassure them at a time of uncertainty. And I think the Holy Father recognized that as shepherds in the United States, we're confronting a tough time because the people are really scared. They're uncertain about what could be. And at the same time, without getting into the politics of it, we need to be there with them. We need to reassure them and walk with them, accompany them, and at the same time, advocate for them. You know, the church is not going to get into the politics of stuff, but the church is going to say that we need to respect the dignity and the rights of our immigrants and treat them with great respect. To be present to people on the margins is to be present with them, to be available, to do what we can and give what we have, right? I think the frustrating part is that I'd like to change their whole life and their frustrations and their challenges, but I might not be able to do that. But at least to let them know that the church is with them, providing them with everything that we can. And people that work in our charities and Catholic social services are just so amazing with that. We were welcoming young families in Philadelphia. I think we helped welcome, in collaboration with the city actually, some 4,000. And I had the wonderful opportunity to visit them. And at the end, they all come here with the same dream. And it's really not even for themselves, it's for their kids, to give their kids a better life, a hopeful life, and a happy life. That's a question that's often asked, right? Why does the church do what it does, especially in areas of foreign aid and international charity, like CRS, amazing organization that I'm blessed to chair right now? It's the gospel. It's the 25th chapter of Matthew, is that what we do for the least among us, we did for him. So it is a consequence of actually coming around the Eucharistic table, coming around the altar. It's born and nourished and set forth from there. It's almost like we cannot do anything else, right? This is not something that we cannot not do, because it is rooted in the very spirit of being a disciple of Christ. That's a challenging question, right? The question of how do we reconcile policy, because every country has policies, with the call of the gospel. Of course, we have to respect the rule of law. You know, that is part of being in community, that's part of being in society. But we have to also enact policies that respect the dignity of the human person, that respects life from conception to death, that respects the sacredness of the family. Those are fundamental realities and gifts of society. And if we can't do those fundamentals, then the policies don't serve us anymore. They're just policies. And policies are there actually to serve the people, to serve the common good. And so we have to enlighten, as Christian disciples, as missionary disciples, we have to raise our voice, enlighten, advocate, sometimes really strongly, that policies reflect the dignity and the rights of people. And the state doesn't give us that dignity, and the state doesn't give us those rights. Actually, those rights are given to us by God. And actually, what the state does is protect the rights that are common to us from God. This is a wonderful year because it's the 50th anniversary of Rice Bowl. We all know Rice Bowls, little cartons that people would put their coins. And the people of the country have been so generous with that to help our brothers and sisters in other countries who don't have what we have, are not blessed with what we have been blessed. It's one part of the body of Christ helping another, right? And people that we'll never meet, but people that we're also called to love. And Rice Bowl is an expression of the love of the people of the United States for the people of the world. This year is really important for a couple of reasons. One is 50 years of Rice Bowl. The other thing is because of governmental cuts, which CRS had received from the government, our people around the world are suffering now. And we've had to cut programs and people to serve those who are hungry and those who thirst, is Matthew 25 again. So we need to pray that that those resources come back and that this country continues to serve the world as it really has, because it has a very generous heart through our foreign aid, through organizations like Catholic Relief Services. So it is wonderful that we're celebrating 50 years. Now it's more important than ever right now. So please give. I love when I was introduced years ago to the prayer of Our Lady of the Knots. That's a favorite of Pope Francis. And so when I'm in difficult situations, whether it's ministerial or family or life or me, I pray that prayer, asking our Blessed Mother the undoer of knots, because we all carry a lot of knots around with us. Sometimes the knots are around us, sometimes they're inside of us, sometimes we create our own knots, but knots nonetheless. And so I pray to Mary, the undoer of knots, and she does her thing.